Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to can some butter. This process does require a pressure canner. I'm going to be doing pints, and so I'm going to be pressuring them. You can use any real butter, salted or unsalted. Now, what I've done, I'll show you here in a minute. I've already unwrapped all the butter and put it in a pot on my stove and melted it. And what I did is I just put my stove on a low heat, just on simmer. So it's barely warm, and put all the butter in the pot, and then I walked away and just let it melt slowly. Because, if you try to do it fast, you're going to end up burning your butter, and then it's not going to be good. We don't want it brown. We want pretty yellow butter. You can see here, I put a picture on a little while ago, and you can see on the top of this, there's a little bit of the milk separating from this, and I have been skimming some of that off. I mean, it's not necessary to skim it all off, but I would try to get the mass of it off of there, because that's just going to it's going to float to the top in your jars. It wouldn't hurt it. I'm actually, you can see here, I've got a bowl here with a lot of that in it, and I'm not going to throw that away. I'll make some mashed potatoes or something like that later. Now, turn this back around here so I can talk to you a minute. You put your jars in the dishwasher, and your dishwasher dries them. You take them out and let them air dry, just as long as your jars are dry, they're going to be fine. I've talked about this before. Even USDA will agree with this. Over 10 minutes in the pressure canner or even in the water bath is going to kill the bacteria. So these are going to be in the pressure canner for 60 minutes. And so, I don't have to worry about botulism bacteria or any bacteria being in them, because they're going to be in the pressure canner plenty long enough for us to kill the bacteria. And so I've got my clean jars. They're sitting, y'all can probably see right there. I've got my clean jars there. I've got clean lids and rings here. And I'm going to ladle this into my jars, and then I'm going to put it in the pressure canner. Now, I do have my pressure canner heating up, because this butter it's hot, and it's going to heat the jars. And as you ladle, I'll actually sit my camera down here so I can show you what I'm doing a little bit. Let me turn this around here so y'all can see. I think you'll be able to see somewhat there. As I ladle this into the jars, I'm going to stir as I go, because I want those solids not to, they're settling in the bottom of the pot right now, but you don't want all just the clear liquid in your jar. You want it mixed. So all I'm going to do, and you can I think you can see right there that I've got that mixed up so that I can ladle these solids into my jar along with the clear. And of course, I know it's going to separate again once it's in the jar, but we'll deal with that later. But I'm going to fill these jars up to the rim. Leave about a 1-inch headspace. Let me see if that's, grab me a towel here. It's a little warm. And so I can show you, pick that up, I think you can see there, that I've got it up to the bottom of the rim. And go ahead and put that into another one. But you're going to want your butter hot, and then ladle it into all of your jars. Wipe the rims real good with some vinegar. Put some vinegar on a cloth or on a paper towel or something, and wipe the rims. and then put your lids and rings in, and then put it in your pressure canner. You're going to pressure can for 60 minutes, and you can, and that's whether you're, even if you're going to use half pints. Some people use half pint jars for butter. I like my butter, so I'm going to use my pint jars for butter. I am using wide mouth jars simply because it'll be easier to get the butter out. And so then I'm going to process that in the canner for 60 minutes. Of course, I use 10 pounds of pressure for where I live. And once it comes out of the pressure canner, then I'm going to go live again and show you all how to finish, because it'll be sealed, but it's not going to be finished. My pressure canner has just cut off. I'm going to probably shake this a second, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in my tripod, because I'm going to show you here just in a second what I have done. But this one is finished, and so I wanted to show you all when I take it out how it looks. Now I've already unlocked it, so I'm going to take the lid off. You hear those pops? You can see, looks like they are all already sealed in the canner. So I'm going to set this up right here, and I think you all can see as I take these off. The last two popped when I first opened it. Now you can see that jar, how that it's separated into the bottom. So what I'm going to do, we'll get them all out here on the counter, put them out on my little towel that I have there. It's actually they call it a canning pad, I guess. But anyway, they've all got those fats, the butter fats down in the bottom. And so I'm going to take them out and let them sit there for a few minutes and cool. But I'm going to show you something here just in a second. I'll have to get a towel because these are blistering hot. Get my towel that I was using earlier, and I think you'll be able to tell what I'm doing here. As they come out, you listen, you hear that? You can hear that is very liquid. Okay, so what you have to do is get them out and shake them, and then sit them down, let them sit for a while and cool. And you keep doing this. It's going to take about an hour for you to do this, for these to really start to cool and get cool enough for those solids to remain solid throughout the jar. And as they do that, when you shake, you hear how that is? That's the way your butter will be when it's ready to, you can put it in the refrigerator overnight and let it set up, and then after that, take it out, take the rings off, and then it's shelf stable. But you can see these are very liquid right now. Ooh, that one just popped. And that lid was loose. That's why. That one may not seal because the lid was loose. Sometimes that happens in the canner. The lids will loosen a little, so that's something to check for. With the shortages, and I don't know if we're going to have a shortage of milk. I don't know if we're going to have a shortage of butter. But with what's happening in our country, I think that it's smarter to be prepared. If we can still go to the grocery store and get butter for the next 6 months, or if we can go get milk for the next 6 months, keep doing that. Leave these on the shelf for when you need them. And in 6 months from now, if there's still an abundance of milk and butter in the grocery store, then start using it. But it's better to be prepared, especially for you folks that have small children at home. Let's see, they're still too hot to touch. Well, I could touch them, but they're still too hot to pick up. So I'm going to pick them up, I'm gonna pick it up. You can see those things are still floating to the bottom, and it's still liquidy. The sound of it is still too liquid. I am back with the butter. It is finally thickened up some. I want to show you what you'll be looking for. I actually had put some of it in the refrigerator a little while so I can show you that. So let me set my camera down here so I can just kind of show you a little bit about what you can look for. I think you can see that there. Okay, I'm going to show you this one. This is one I just took out of the other canner, and you can see, you can hear. It's still quite liquid. Now this one, you hear that? You can hear just a little bit, but you can see that it's beginning to set up. Now, I've got one back here. Now this one has already been in the refrigerator, and you can see it is solid. So, anyways, this one's still, you can still hear a little bit. But those are going to sit there for a little while. I'm going to be shaking these others that came out of the canner and get them ready. But you can see that's almost, you can just almost not even hear it. But it's a big difference between that and that. So that's what you're going to be looking for. And so anyway, hope y'all have a very nice evening and enjoy your evening. And then tomorrow, Lord willing, I will see you all and we'll can some chili. Y'all have a good night.